Thank you. Thanks, Sam McKay. Guess who's in town? Ron Pierce. Ron Pierce has stopped by. Ron, how you doing?
Good, Bob. Good. Real good.
Why are you sitting with me when there's 12 races going on tonight, and why are you not driving?
I'm just not ready to come back yet, Bob.
You had three surgeries last year? Three?
Yeah.
Okay. Give us the idea of how they went and how you feeling now.
Okay. The first surgery didn't seem to help too much at all on my lower back. Came back to Jersey, New Jersey Spine and Orthopedic. They operated on my neck, put a couple parts in. It feels great, no pain at all. And then the same doctor that operated on my neck, he came back and he did my lower back for me. And my back has been getting better and better all the time.
Now, in theory, could you race a limited schedule if you wanted to? Like stakes races, Breeders' Crown, something like that, in theory?
Well, I could. I'd have to wait a few more months to get the okay from the doctor, but I could probably do it. But I just want to get my back stronger before I decide on coming back.
You've been out 13 months and 2 weeks. How does it feel for you to watch races that used to be in day and night?
You know, it feels good. It feels good. I enjoy it. I love watching races. I still get very excited. I'll get more excited watching a good horse race than I would if I was driving it myself.
Well, because you'll be 60 in June, I want to tell you a quote that Carmen Abatello gave me about 20 years ago. I asked Carmen Abatello, I think he was 60 or 59 at the time, I said, what about your driving ability now as compared to 20 years ago? He said it was just as good, but he says, I can't hit the deck at 60 like I used to. That's why I can't drive anymore. That was Carmen Abatello. What about you?
I'll agree with Carmen on that. We sure don't bounce nearly as good as we used to bounce. We used to be able to, take some terrible shots out there and get up and get right back on. But now it seems like you hit that track hard, you just kind of stick to it. You don't roll or bounce nearly as good as you used to when you were younger.
Where were you watching the Hamiltonian last year?
I was upstairs here.
You were here?
I had a great time.
Yeah. Didn't you get the Hamiltonian trophy one of the last 2 years somehow? Didn't that wind up with you? Was it last year or the year before?
Yeah, they gave it to. They sent it to my house instead of Sears's. So I had it for about 4 months. And I finally got it back to him the other day.
So you told everybody that you won the Hamiltonian, even though you weren't driving?
No. I just was goofing on that one. That was a goof.
Well, Muscle Hill has been a huge impact sire. You raced against him in Explosive Matter. Did you ever race a trotter that could beat or go right with Muscle Hill?
Yeah, I've said it to a lot of people. Nobody believes me, but I could have beat him with Donato Hanover.
Donato Hanover.
I really could have. I really felt that after chasing that horse all year with Explosive Matter, if I'd have had Donato Hanover and I'd had those trips, we'd have beat that horse. I'm sure we would have. Donato was very special. We kept him within himself pretty much a whole year until we got to the Breeders' Crown here, and he just come up a little sick, but he was well within himself.
Because he set his lifetime mark twice in the same day in the Kentucky Futurity. Did that, in retrospect, take a little bit out of him come Breeders' Crown time?
No, he come down with the virus.
Oh.
But it wouldn't have surprised me if it would have took something out of him. I'm sure might have had something to do with it, but he was sick going into that race.
When you hear about great pacers, you don't usually hear the name Well Said ever brought up. He was one of the best I've ever seen.
Oh, he was the nicest pacer I ever drove. I mean, the times he got beat was my fault for overdriving him or moving him at the wrong time. But I love that horse. Just he was so classy. Just really nice mouth, very slick-gated. He'd do anything you wanted him to. But if you abused him, then that's when he got beat. Is when I overdrove him.
Yeah, and you've had a long history of so many great races here, in the jugs especially. I'm thinking about the other day, I was reading about Blissful Hall. There's another name that we don't hear too much of. That was the year Ponderosa. The Ponderosa won $2 million races, but Blissful Hall was a Triple Crown winner and a division winner. He was a serious colt.
Right. Yeah, he was a real nice horse. Very, very, very fast. I mean, that horse could scat.
And you won $1 million race in 6 consecutive years. Nobody's ever done that from 2006 through 11. The last time you did that was with Roll with Joe. You started that with Total Truth. So you've had some horses who weren't necessarily great horses, but you got it done in the big races like a Total Truth.
Yeah, I've been very lucky going for the big money. I don't know. It seems like they start adding zeros onto that purse. I wake up a little bit.
Do you smell the zeros a little more than someone else? You mean?
I think so. Yeah.
You do?
Yeah, I think so. Everything. I don't know. It's just It's just the way I am.
Now, I did a note the other day that Dave Miller's about to hit 200 million. You know, his daughter won a race here. How are your boys doing?
My boys are great. My youngest boy, Keith, he's got his lobster boats, and he's out there catching a lot of lobsters and making a good buck. And my oldest boy, Jesse, he drives heavy equipment like bulldozers, caterpillars, things like that. Whatever they need him on, he'll get on. He's making a good money driving heavy equipment.
So if a couple of the guys watch this interview tonight and they come up to me later on and say, listen, I couldn't hear what Ron Pierce said. When's he coming back? What should I tell them?
It won't be most likely 2016. If I come back, it'll most likely be in the spring of 17, if I come back.
Okay, they're coming out right now for the post-parade for this race. We'll come back right after this. We're not going to let Ron Pierce go just yet. I want to talk to him a little bit about, the last full year he drove was 2014. He was only the third time in 30 years that the same driver had the pacer and the trotter of the year, Shake It Kerry and Sweet Lou. John Campbell did it in 94. Tim Teacher did it in 2012. Campbell did it, remember Cam's Card Shark back in 1994. I remember the great year he had, and Pine Chip, and then Teacher did it with Market Share and, of course, the captain. Ron, what about that? Shake It Kerry and Sweet Lou. Pretty good memories there, huh?
Oh, yeah, they were both really very special horses. That Shake It Kerry, I just loved her to death. She was such a sweetie. I had such a great time racing her when she was 2 and 3. Just what a sweetheart. Very slick-gated. Get over the ground really quick. And Sweet Lou, I never did find the bottom of that horse. What an engine he had. He was a big, strong horse that covered a lot of ground real easy. And you were kind and gentle to him too. He didn't like the whip too much. No. It seems like if you threaten him too much with the stick, that he'd slow down instead of going faster. And you won on a 5/8 mile track with him in 47, and then you won, I think, the TVG here on open lengths last time you drove him. He was a great horse at 2, and it's hard to be great at 2 and be great at 5, but he was. Yeah, he had a couple of easy years in between. That probably helped him out a little bit. Yeah. Now, I want to ask you about overseas driving. We have the Elite Lop playoff coming up. Hannah Miller's going overseas. What's the difference driving overseas in France and Sweden as opposed to driving here? Well, those boys over there, they race a lot different than we do here, depending on where you're at. It's just a different way of racing and a lot of different rules. Yeah, the rules are really what you need to know before you go there. Ron Pierce, we hate to say this, but they're getting ready to go to the post of the 4th. We hate to let you go. Thanks so much for stopping by, and I know that people want to say hello to you here, so tell us whenever you want to stop by or talk, or whenever you're thinking about coming back, make sure you come sit with us and we'll talk about it. Okay, thanks, Bob. Thanks, Ron Pierce. Hi, Mom.